Hi guys, and welcome back to On the Fence. So Liverpool have just travelled to Craven Cottage in the Premier League and just picked up 3 points in probably the hardest and grittiest way possible. I remember Crystal Palace last year away, where we went 1-0 up, I think it was, and then they come back um, and then we go and win the game with Salah very, very late on. Well, this had a lot of similarities to that. Not least because Fulham, of course, are a London side, and it's quite a small stadium to go to. Not small in terms of like capacity, but like the pitch is really close to the stadium, the fans and stuff like that, which I think is quite good, to be fair. But so it's, you feel like you're being strangled if you're a player, kind of thing, because you're right on the touchline with the fans, and it's a tough place to go, Craven Cottage. We've had a couple of difficult trips there in recent times where we faced them. Of course, this is their first season back in the Premier League, but I thought, they raised their level really well, considering they're second from bottom in the league, and they're probably going to be relegated because they're, I think, about 9 points off the team ahead of them. I can't even remember who that is, to be fair. So, in this game, they really put on quite a good performance since Scott Parker became manager after Ranieri went, after a few games in charge, really. You probably realised he couldn't do much with that team and fucked off. So, Scott Parker's come in and he's kind of breathed new life into them, to be fair, and they were very good in this game. We took the lead with Mane, of course. Once again, 11 goals in 11 games for Sadio Mane. He is our go-to man right now. That goes without saying. He's been absolutely fantastic. Shout out to the lad who said like 2 years ago that Sadio Mane is the best player in the world. He really is. He is our most influential player. If you look at all the 11 on our pitch, of course, Van Dijk and Alisson have been fantastic additions to the team. Who is the player that always seems to dig us out when it comes to creativity? You give him the ball and he will create something. He will create something for himself, or for Firmino, or for Mane, or for one of the midfielders. He is absolutely he's one of our most important players, and I think he will be the secret to if we go and win the league. Hopefully now this win has put us on the base to do that. Depending on City's results after the international break, Sadio Mane is probably the biggest chance we've got to win the league, especially since Mo Salah's not really firing at the minute. He seems to have a bit of a personal battle going on, Salah. Not going to dwell too much on it. He was good in this game. He was good, and unfortunately, good for Salah is not good enough for most people. So, he's a bit too greedy. When he was breaking into the box, last season he was compared to Messi, the Egyptian Messi and stuff like that. And he gets in the box and he weaves in and out of players. Look against Bayern Munich when he should go down for a penalty, but because he weaves in and out of players like they're not even there. Well, in this game, every time he got into the box, you're expecting something to happen, and it just flattered to deceive, really. He loses the ball so easily in different positions, and breaks up our attack. And last season we'd have probably scored 3, 4, 5 goals on the counter attack in that instance, because how lethal we were, how decisive Salah was. I think in this instance he's not decisive. He's very indecisive, which is the opposite word. Is it because he's looking for his 50th goal? Is it because there's pressure on us to win the league? Is it because of, all these extenuating factors? Probably, yeah. He holds himself with a high regard, Salah. He puts himself in a top bracket, rightly so, because he is a phenomenal footballer, but, he puts too much pressure on himself sometimes, and I think, you're seeing today where he came lacking because he is putting too much pressure on himself. Someone like Mane, who nobody's really been talking about in the past few months, and he's come back into the forefront again to show why he is absolutely fantastic. I do believe Salah will end the season fine. I think he'll get a few more goals from now to the end of the season, hopefully. Hopefully he gets the decisive goal. That'd be fantastic for his confidence if he could get the goal that wins us the league, but that's a while ago till then. We've got, I think, what have we got? Well, 7 games left. City have got 8, so they've got the game after the international break. I think it was really good that we won our only game that we played ahead of City, because every other game now we're going to play after them, which is unfortunate. So we've kind of got to do the chasing on Manchester City. So hopefully it's this next game that they slip up, because then we are in control. Last thing you want is for City to be pulling themselves clear each time they play. Winning their games, pulling themselves clear, even if they get a point, just pulling themselves that little bit more clear, and then the onus is then on us. So hopefully they do slip up in this next game, which is against Fulham. I think it's away, I'm not too sure. So hopefully that can happen. But back to this game, the most important thing is that, Van Dijk and Alisson get themselves in a mix up, and probably between them, that's probably their first mistake they've made all season. Especially Van Dijk anyway. He makes the wrong decision. He doesn't realise Babel's absolutely bearing down on him. And he tries to head it to Alisson when he probably should clear it. Alisson should come out first as well. They both kind of get tangled. I mean, it comes as well from Milner's bad clearance, but he just don't come on the pitch. You can't really blame him too much for that. It's just a mix-up. It's just miscommunication. That happens. Fuck it. If we're sitting here saying, oh, it's 1-1 at the end of the game and it's through a mistake from Van Dijk and Alisson, you can't really say too much because Van Dijk's been utterly imperious from the start of the season since he signed, really. He hasn't made any mistakes at Liverpool. I not that I can recall anyway. If anybody else can, then please let me know. But Van Dijk's not made a single. He hasn't put a foot wrong in a Liverpool shirt since he signed last year. Alisson's made a couple of little boo boos, but again, he's saved himself when he's made these errors. And the errors haven't come to cost us in games because we've gone to win these games or get points from these games, so that's fine. And so you can't really hold too much blame on them, to be honest. It's just one of them things. It's a miscommunication, and Fulham were right on it to pounce on the mistake, and they did. And then we get a rightly deserved penalty, finally. Salah. This time Salah does something really good. He cuts inside into his left foot, and he puts a shot in, and it's quite hard for the keeper to handle. He probably should do better, but it is one of them things. It's slippery. It's just been hailstone and it's raining. It's wet, and the keeper just fumbles it. Mane probably would score if the keeper doesn't hold on to him, similar to Pickford against Newcastle last week. And we get the penalty, and James Milner, Mr. Reliable, as calm as you like, as cool as you like. We're chasing down his former side, who he was instrumental in winning the league for them a few years ago, and he's doing the bits for us now. He's been one of our most consistent performers since he signed in 2015-16, whenever it was. He has been probably one of our most consistent players overall under Klopp. Again as well, him and Lallana were the most consistent performers under Klopp when he first came in, and even when we transitioned the side into what it is now with the front three and a workman like midfield, he was in the heart of it. And then the start of this season, we tried to change the midfield a little bit more, make them a little bit more dynamic, make them a little bit more creative, and at the back maybe bit sharper in the tackle and stuff like that. And Milner's still finding a place in this team. And if he's going to come up with important goals like that, then I'm absolutely fine with him being in the team. He's shown his worth all the time. We signed this lad on a free. 30, what is he now? 32, 33 years old, and he's still providing, goals, assists, top quality performances at the highest level. Since he was 16. He started off at Leeds when he was 16. How many years is that? Quick maths. But 10, 15, 17 years? 17 years at the top for James Milner, and he's still putting performances like that in. What can you say, really, to that? Mane and Milner both winning it for us at Craven Cottage. Like I said, tough place to go. But, look at the times that we've scored winners there. We've gone on to at least challenge for the league. So hopefully that puts us in good stead. You remember the Ben Ayoun goal in 2008-9. You remember the Gerrard penalty in the last dying seconds against in 13-14. Both those times we didn't win the league. Yeah, it's been publicised enough. Fucking hell. This time's different. I believe this time's going to be different. I'm probably going to put myself out there and say it, but I don't care. I think this is different. I think Liverpool can go all the way, and it obviously depends on City's next game, of course, to set the tone for the rest of the games. But I think Fulham could do a good job against Manchester City because they were very good in this game. And Scott Parker has done well with Fulham, and they need to get some points if they want to save themselves. I don't think they will, but maybe now they're fighting for pride and going away to the team, the champions, the Centurions, fucking the team that God gave all the gifts to. If they can do a job on them, that'll be fine. I'll be fine with that. And I hope they would too. So yeah, I think we can. I think we can win the league. Of course I do, because you've got to. Right until it's mathematically impossible, you've got to believe that we're going to win the league, and you've got to think that we are as well. And I think we will. I think we'll win the league. I also think we can win the Champions League as well. Look, despite what the media are telling us, despite what fans on Twitter are telling us, it's a time to be happy for Liverpool. We are fighting on two fronts in the highest prestigious competitions that you can think of. You know, the Champions League and the Premier League. They're the two competitions that we are, you know, that we are highly successful in. You know, they're the competitions that we what's the word I'm looking for? They're the competitions that we use to show how good we are. You know, we're 5 times champions of Europe, highest in England of teams who've, you know, won the European Cup. We're the second highest team in terms of league titles. Manchester United have fell off a cliff, and they might be back in a few years' time, so we've got to take advantage now. You know, Man City have, for all their money, and Chelsea as well, you know, they've obviously, you know, got a leap ahead of other teams because of the money that they've been produced into their club. But, you know, rightly so, Man City are going to be hopefully punished, rightly so, for financial doping. So it's a great time to be a Liverpool fan because we're doing things in the right way. Yeah, we've signed Van Dijk for a massive money. Yeah, Alisson was the second highest transfer fee for a goalkeeper, but they've both proved that they are worth the money at least. You know, and we've done things the right way. FSG have done a great job in terms of buying, selling. You know, they didn't at first, of course, because they were quite new to football. You know, they're Americans. You can't really expect anything less. No offense, I'm only messing. But they've changed their ways because they've seen Klopp come in, and they know, because Klopp knows. Klopp's been there, he's done it, you know, at different stages of his career. He's been down the bottom of the league, he's been in a second division, you know, he's gone right to the top of winning the league, and, you know, he got to the Champions League final. Which he's already done at Liverpool as well. So, you know, he is capable of great things at Liverpool Football Club, and FSG are backing him all the way, and I'm backing him all the way, and anybody who's not backing him all the way can get to fuck, because Jurgen Klopp is taking his team to glory, and if he doesn't do it this year, he will do it next year, and if not then, he will do it the year after, because I believe in the model he has brought to Liverpool Football Club. You know, developing the young players, buying players in their prime. Our front three are all 26, 27 years old. Van Dijk's 26. That's so young for where we are. You know, Fabinho's only 23, 24. Keita's 24, 25. You know, Oxlade-Chamberlain's coming back, and he's going to be a great addition back into the team, like a new signing. Alisson as well, you know, 25, 26 as well. There's reasons to be excited about this team, not just for the coming years, but for this year, because we are fighting right at the very end of the Premier League. And City have already dropped points so far in the league, more than we've dropped, let's be honest. You know, at the start of the season, we were saying it's going to be nearly impossible, because we're looking at a 30-point swing, because we were like nearly, I think about 15, 20 points off them last season. You know, we finished 4th. And you know, the point gap has shortened. You know, we're 2 points ahead of them in the league now. Obviously, game played more, but look at what we've done. You know, look at how well we've done to catch up to them and to keep up with them. And I don't care that we were 7 points, 9 points ahead of this, you know, the turn of the year. That's nothing to me, because at the end of the day, we didn't expect to be chasing Manchester City this close. You know, we expected to maybe just you know, keep ourselves within touching distance, but now we're ahead of them. You know, we're 2 points ahead, and if they win their game, we're only 1 point behind them. That's massive, and I don't care what any opposition fan says. Opposition fans should not judge our football club, because they're in their own precarious positions. We are the best equipped club to challenge Manchester City. We are the closest team to Manchester City. All the other teams have failed. They've bottled it. We haven't. We are not bottling it. We are going to go right to the very end of the Premier League, right to the very end of the Champions League. All other opposition fans can chat, we've bottled it, this, that, the other. No, we haven't, because we're still fighting with Manchester City. All of them aren't. Tottenham, Chelsea, Everton, United, Arsenal, all them teams, none of them are fighting where we are. You know, us and City are the class above in this league, and they're all just fighting for scraps, trying to fight for 4th, 6th, you know, whatever place. You know, Everton aren't even fighting in the fucking top half, really, are they? You know, so all these opposition fans trying to banter us. Why? How can you banter us? We're fucking second in the league. Well, we're now top, and we're in the best position other than Manchester City to go and win the Premier League. And that's fine by me. As a Liverpool fan, I am happy. Let me just go on record to say I am happy. Premier League, Champions League, we're coming for them both. See you next time when we face whoever it is after the international break. I think it might be Tottenham. Don't know. It's going to be a massive game, but I'm going to be here. You're going to be there. Liverpool are going to turn up, of course, like they always do. And we're going to go and try our best to go and win the Premier League and then the Champions League as well consecutively. Let's do the fucking double reds, and let's be positive about the football club. I've been on the fence. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later.